Hey guys, this is Luz Stab, and this is a video that I didn't win the fight, but I think it's a very good video to show the importance of combat boosters. For example, Blue Pill, Crash, Drop, Exile, Frentix, Mind Flood, Soothsayer, and X Instinct. Those are all the boosters that are, each booster gives you bonuses for each different thing. But and because we're using armor rep ship, we needed to use exile. And here's what happened. I saw these four ships. It was three moas and one rupture, and they were roaming around. And I saw them one jump off my station where I had this ship, and I had up another prophecy in the low sec. I didn't have anything else, just the ships, no drugs, no anything. So I just decided to grab the Myrmidon real quick and go look for them, and that's how I found it, because I thought that I had a pretty good chance to win the fight, but also it was something that I couldn't miss. Four cruisers roaming like that is a perfect scenario for like a ship like Myrmidon that can actually tank them. Too bad. The problem was that I didn't have any boosters, so I took the fight without my exile, and the exile gives you almost 100 more HP per second when you're boosting. So I'll show you all that information in EFT. So let's look at the EFT. So this is the fit, and I'll show you in a second why it's important to have always boosters if you're solo not only solo PvP, any type of PvP. They're cheap enough that they can cover, they're worth covering even an interceptor sometimes. But let's go over it real quick. And on this Myrmidon I have dual 180mm autocannons, and the reason why I have autocannons compared to blasters that I can actually fit here is because it gives me a bit more range, and also it gives me a wide variety of damage that I can apply. I can apply EM damage, thermal damage, explosive if I want. I don't have that option with blasters. This is a blaster fit if you want to see it. It will put out a bit more DPS, but I rather have the damage options if I need it to. So we have two medium meta capacitor boosters. We have a micro warp drive. I think it's better to have a micro jump drive in here as another fit I will show you in a bit. Just because, I mean, with this type of fit, you're always getting tackle and there's no way you're gonna get out. So I think it's better to have a micro jump drive. I have a scrum in my web, two Tech 2 medium armor wrappers, a medium ancillary armor wrapper. I also have one energized adaptive nano membrane. I have one drone amplifier just to increase a bit more my DPS, and I have damage control. Now for the rigs, I have two nano pumps and one anti-explosive pump, and that makes pretty much, if you see here, my base damage, I mean my resistance is pretty much leveled, so it doesn't matter what are they shooting at the time. Or of course they will all usually try to shoot explosive if they have the option. So this is why I picked it, and this is why you should always, I almost forgot about the DPS. The DPS is not much. This ship is for taking a lot of punishment and being able to kill their targets, not in a fast manner, but in a proper, I will say in a timely manner. It won't delete ships or anything, but it has decent enough DPS to be able to do it. So we have almost 200 DPS from our guns, and this is with phase plasma. We can change the damage type if we need, and we have 160 DPS, yeah, close to 160 DPS from drones, coming up to a total of 650 DPS. Let me check with my skills. 638 DPS. So that's what I was actually applying. I think it comes from my guns. Yeah, my guns are lacking a bit. But the second thing I wanted to talk about is boosters. So far right now, with everything overheated, we're boosting for 594 HP per second, and this is where the important thing came on the fight. I think that if I was using a booster, let's pop an exile on here and see how much we will be start repping. So with an exile and I have perfect drug skills, so I don't take that many penalties and stuff like that. So that was gonna come out to 713 HP per second that we're repping, compared to 500, almost 600. So almost 100 more DPS, a bit more than 100 more DPS that we're actually repping. And I think this would have made the difference of this ship. I also, on my hangar, because I was one jump away from the station where I have these ships, I didn't have any drugs, and that's what happens. I think this would have been a better option. I also have this ship in my hangar, and it's just a Newton prophecy. I think it would have been a lot more sufficient, because it has a huge tank. Let me see, how much does it have? 78k HP. So it has a huge tank. Resistances are pretty good. The DPS is a bit lower because of the drone set that I have to use, and I don't have guns in here. And the DPS is close to 500. Let me see with my skills. 490. So, but here's the catch. I think this would have been a better option. I wish I would have picked that, because I didn't have any exile or anything. We have 3 medium newts and 2 small newts. I think I would have been able to disable at least 2 MOAs with these newts right away, within 5 to 8 second window. I would have been able to disable 2 ships right away, and then just keep pounding on that Rupture, because the Rupture had the lowest tank of compared to the MOAs. And then I had the time, because I had the tank for it, and this reactive armor harness would have spiked my resistances a lot more, so it would have made it even more tankier. So I think this was the option to take that fight, but I don't know. I just wanted to try them, because this is just go and pray, see if you can disable them. But I just felt like trying the Myrmidon, but this should be the better option for that kind of fight. And notice in this one I do have a micro jump drive, because pretty much even if an interceptor gets me or a frigate gets me and I'm not able to get away, I don't have the drones to kill it. Let's say I don't have the drones to kill it, or the means to kill it, or I'm getting tackled by 3 frigates, maybe 4 frigates. I can put 1 medium newt on 3 frigates, and then the other 2 newts on another frigate, and that will disable those frigates within, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 seconds. Who knows? I don't really know how much capacitor they drain, but I know they do drain a lot. And then once you have disabled those frigates, you can just micro jump drive, and then you're off. So this is a very good ship. I'll try to make videos with this ship, but I don't know, because the rebalance is coming soon, so I don't know if I should wait, because I'm kind of short on S. But I'll try to make some S and buy some more ships. But this is one of my favorite ships. These 2 are my favorite ships, just because how versatile they are, and not a lot of people are expecting a full nuke prophecy. So let's check out the video and see how everything went down. So this is when I'm looking for them, and they were going around 2 systems, so it actually took me a bit to find them, but this is where I finally found them. And I knew they were the same, and they didn't have any more people, just because I saw them before and I saw the same 1 Rapture, 3 MOAs. And this is where I don't bother looking where they are. I kind of saw that they were in the system, but they were looking for a fight, and that's just obvious. So I just warped to the medium plex. I know that I can't get in, but I'm still gonna fight it outside. So I just warped there, hoping for them to warp there, and so I can start a fight. And this is where you have to start thinking about your target calling and who are you gonna primary and why. And here I decide to primary the rupture, and in here you'll notice that I see them on short on the angle. Yeah, they were at the gate, so that's where they came from and they followed me. So this is where when you have to think about target calling and know how everything, know all this before that the fight even starts. And my primary will be the rupture. Why the rupture? Because it has decent DPS, and the DPS they put out is really good. It was after I learned that it was a shield rupture, so a shield rupture has a lot of DPS, and those two reasons are pretty much the same. But here comes the important part. The rupture, it doesn't have the bonus that the MOA has. The MOA has resistance per level, shield resistance per level. So that means the rupture is less tankier than the MOAs actually are. And the third reason is that the rupture it's able to fuel newts, and I think it has either a medium and a small newt or two small newts. And that's really a problem for me because this is a very cap intensive ship, and you'll see them landing in a bit. This is a very cap intensive ship, so even a small newt can sometimes mess me up, because once you start ripping like crazy and the fight goes for a long time, that's where the problems comes if there is newts on the field. So that's why I chose the rupture first, and I know that if I take down the rupture, the DPS is gonna drop. I don't know, I think a shield rupture does about 300 or 400 DPS, so that's a lot of DPS on the field that I can get away just by killing the rupture first, and it's the less tankier. I think my repping should have started earlier, because I wasn't expecting to take that much DPS at once. I know the ruptures, I mean the MOAs have our neutron blasters, so they put out a lot of DPS, but I think I should have started repping a little bit earlier, especially with my ancillary repper, which I turned it on when I was really late. And in here it's easy. My number one thing to do is just get my ogres and start pounding on that rupture right away. I just approach it, turn on my afterburner just to move a bit faster if I can. I'm not moving that fast because I'm just following that rupture, and I'm probably triple web and stuff, so I'm not moving a lot. So I'm just trying to pound, and that's where it happens. Look at that rupture, he's almost dead, so close to be dead. I know that if I had my exile, I would have killed it, and I would have gotten rid of 400 DPS right away, no problems. And then I would have just gone MOA by MOA, my MOA, until they either decided to warp away or just died trying to kill me. So that's the importance of having always an exile. It doesn't matter if you're solo PvPer, it doesn't matter if you're in a small GAN, in a big fleet. I think even on big fleets are actually very important to have boosters, because a standard exile only costs like 3 million. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be posting more videos soon. So thanks, and I appreciate all the feedback you might have, either positive or negative, but thanks again.